Neptune in the 10th house in the birth chart it's a placement that has some difficulty, because whenever Neptune is placed on the midheaven, it creates a little bit of disillusionment and not losing clarity with career. All your career, all that you've achieved, has a lack of clarity. And it plays a part because it always does. And a Neptunian energy, we want to float away to the fantasy realms. We want to be in a little bit of a cloud, a little bit of a fog where we're not seeing things clearly. And so there could be some disillusionment and delusions, illusions inside of this particular area of life, because the 10th house rules career. The person may show things to others that they themselves don't identify with. They may be celebrated for things that they don't feel that they are worthy of having done. They may be in a career for a very, very long time and not feel like it's right to them. The thing is to find a career that's aligned with you, spiritually aligned with yourself, your soul, what you want on the soul level. And something that has a higher purpose beyond just what you get out of a career, which is making money. So, in this episode of the Cosmic Sky Podcast, I will be delving deep into this placement, going through all the traits, all the ways about it that would be very, very good to get into. Now, let us start off at the very, very beginning. So the big synopsis of this placement is lack of clarity around where you stand, your reputation. And to understand reputation a little bit deeper, it's your self-esteem. It's a position that you have in public. That's a reputation. So you don't know necessarily where you stand, your own individual reputation. And so you don't know your role. I mean, you know your role, but you're just lacking some clarity around your role. Assistant manager, office, marketing salesperson, whatever. The stereotypical, I want to throw in the word, great expectations career. No. I don't think that the career will work for you. I think that a career that will work for you is something spiritually aligned. Getting to that later. But the 10th house, remember, because the 10th house is what you show to the world. What you publicly show, put out there to the world. What you demonstrate toward the world in terms of your achievements. The 10th house rules, first of all, career, but what you do out into the world and what people recognize you for doing. The 10th house is also your legacy, what you leave behind in society, what you do, and what impact you make for the future generations, for other people, and what you leave behind when you die, when you pass away. The 10th house is that. When you when you leave society or when you retire. It doesn't have to be, validai. It can be, retiring and getting out of work. So, so what is that particular mark that you want to leave on society? Now, our reputation we put on towards what we do in the world is represented by the 10th house. And so, that is very, very huge. Our reputation, where we stand, combined with actions. So, Neptune, what it does when it's in a particular house, it gives the overall essence of it, rather than showing like the glyph of Mars. Let's take the glyph of Mars, for instance, where there's an arrow, like the symbol for masculinity, or this arrow sticking out, like, okay, I have a direction jutting out from this circle. With the symbol symbolizes is you have a center. You have a knowledge inside of you, and then from that center, you're going out and then making it happen. You are actively from the inside out, making it happen. So, that's what kind of Mars means in terms of the symbology, the symbolic language of it. But Neptune is not that. Neptune is not give, okay, this is where I am, and then this is where I'm going. This is what I want to achieve. No, Neptune is not that. Okay, let's get that straight here. Neptune isn't that. It is spiritual. It's calm. It's serene. It's here and now. It's, it's all this kind of thing that's going on like that. So Neptune, what it wants is, okay, so now delving into Neptune a little bit deeper. So, now, Neptune wants something higher. Neptune wants higher spiritual ideals. It wants to transcend this reality. What it wants is to go beyond the practical, mundane reality. If you do this thing over and over again, and you do it in a routine, you do it very, very consistently, and you do it very, very, like you use your logical mind. You do it in a linear way. Well, Neptune isn't that. It's very, very spiritually idealistic. It wants a better world, more spiritually divine, higher vibration, more compassionate world. And therefore, it can really, really struggle with being in the 3D reality. It can really, really struggle and suffer with reality because it just is not attached to this reality so much that it's in the higher clouds. In the higher, dimensions and realm, because it transcends this. It's above all of this. It's at another place, at another, destination, location, state of being. It may have difficulty accepting the hard harsh qualities of reality, such as war, division, all this kind of stuff. It may have difficulty accepting the more difficult and more harrowing, more challenging, more pressing, more weighty aspects of reality. Not that I'm telling you to be subject to that, because that's very, very disempowering and it's not compassionate. What I'm saying is be in reality just enough to where you can go after what your spiritual calling is. That's what I'm saying. So, where you have divine support, where you have the support of the universe to guide you, because we all have support, we all have the divine to support us. And if you can remain conscious, have a conscious contact to a higher power, conscious contact to the universe, then you will, achieve a lot in this life. When you do this, because you're co-creating your own reality. Others see you differently from who you really are, from who you perceive yourself to be. Others see you differently from, your real self, for who you really are. Your real identity underneath the mask that you wear, underneath the role that you play. Okay, so excuse me. You want those people. And I'll get there. But people see you for your role, your image a lot of the time, instead of who you really are. It takes you to really, really crack the code and unlock the chain to your heart to see who you are, like on a deep soul level. So, you may spend a lot of time searching for things, seeking out things, trying on different things, sort of dreaming, imagining, looking for your career, constant chasing of your career, constant looking over here, looking over there, constant, reevaluating your career. Like you get into a career and you do it, oh, it's not for me. You get into another career, oh, it's not for me. It's like you can't quite find the career that's meant for you. And the reason why is because you're chasing it from your ego. And that's what sets you back. Is you're chasing it from your ego. You're trying to find what matches up with your ego in your that kind of life, in your logical life. I think that when you look to your soul of what you want on a soul level, what feels right to you on a soul level, then you can then you can then you can find the right career choice for you. So, you may be in many positions where people see you for someone that you truly are not. People are seeing you for, sort of mask that you put on, not who you really are. This confusion in 10th house matters. This confusion in career, status, reputation, I think that's fairly obvious. You spend your whole life still asking the question, and I believe this is the title of this episode, who do I want to be when I grow up? Who do I really want to be when I grow up? What do I really want to be when I grow up? And I'm putting that question in quotes because you tend to want to keep asking this question over and over again. You tend to want to, ruminate over this question. And And, you know, it's like, what role do you want to play? What career do you want to have? What job do you want to have? And you're just kind of stuck in the, and I mean this in the most compassionate way possible. You're stuck in the little kid stage. You're stuck in the little, kid stage of like, just like stuck in the stage. No matter how, you could be very, very old. You could be very, very, like in your 40s or 50s or whatever. And you're stuck in the stage of still trying to figure out what your vocation is, what your, career is. Still asking these questions of what do I want to be, and what's right for me, this and that. Like, you're constantly in that super reflection. And it's about getting quiet with yourself, getting very, very intuitive with yourself, and asking yourself on the soul level, what do I really want on that level? So, you're sort of wondering what the best use of your time and energy is. You're sort of, going back and forth with, what should I be spending my time and energy on? Which really, really in indecision and constantly, complaining. And I know someone who has this in my personal life who has Mars in Libra. So Mars in Libra is very, very, indecisive and not the most direct when it comes to just, okay, I have an action plan, I'm going towards it. No, you spend time constantly, reflecting on it and going back and forth. So I imagine with this person, there's a lot of overthinking, there's a lot of constant contemplation, constant reflection going on, wondering what the best use of of what you can do, of your talents and abilities. And you see a potential role that you can step into. You see a role, you see something that you can put on, but it's kind of like catching bubbles, because when you catch a bubble, it pops. When you catch a cloud, you can't catch a cloud because it's not a material thing. It's not like a physical thing that has matter and weight to it. So you can't quite grasp the career that you want to have. You can't quite step into it and fully embody that career. That's not a sort of quality of who you are. The 10th house is what you want to embody. It's sort of, your role out in the world. It's sort of your position of what you put out into the universe, into the larger, that's what I read, the bigger world. So, what you want on a soul level is deep spiritual meaning in your career. Your career must have a deeper, more philosophical, more spiritual, intuitive meaning for you. It must carry meaning. Must mean something for you on a soul level. If it doesn't mean anything to you on a soul level, then then don't be in the career if it doesn't feel aligned with what you feel on a soul level. Make sure that whatever career choice, whatever 10th house career or or job that you have is aligned with you more deeply, more internally, that it feels intuitively right for you, that it feels like I can drop in and I can just breathe. I can feel safe and secure and content and satisfied within myself with a career choice, with a career choice that I choose for myself, that it feels right, that it feels aligned with who I truly am. And, you're constantly trying to, chase it down. You're constantly trying to chase down your career, trying to always find your career. You can't quite grab hold of the career. Can't quite latch onto it and claim it as, this is my job, this is my career, this is my role out into the world, this is how I serve the world with my career, and this is what I am known for, because it's the 10th house is what you're known for. So it's one of those things where you may be in a job for a very, very long time, feeling like the job is not right for you. You may be stuck in a job, still wondering what the proper career choice is for you. Still in a job, wondering like, is this really right for me? What's really right for me? What really feels aligned with who I am? You're in a job, and you're thinking, you're thinking, constantly, that is just not, who you are. And other people are giving you compliments of your talents. You're like, okay, yeah, great, but I don't recognize it, and I don't feel like that should be acknowledged or celebrated or honored that I did, because it doesn't feel right for me. So Neptune dissolves whatever it touches, and in the 10th house, it dissolves your career, your reputation. So again, disillusionment with career. So you need a career to carry a lot of meaning. You need a career that carries higher meaning, that you can be a part of something larger than yourself, that you contribute to something larger than yourself, like a charity, or a cause for something larger, or a cause to help other people, or a cause to, inspire others and uplift others with art, or help others to grow and evolve and transform. If you're a spiritual teacher, for instance, something that has deeper meaning beyond the money that you earn, beyond the money that you get, every month or every couple of weeks or whenever you get paid in your job. So, you need a career with that higher purpose. You need, instead of following your career, you're following your higher purpose. Like, you're constantly asking yourself, well, like, where did I place my purpose? Constantly trying to find your purpose. Like, what am I supposed to be? Who am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? And you're not really clear on this. You're not really clear on this. But can you become more clear? Can you sit with yourself and really ask yourself, what do I want to achieve out into the world on a soul level? I'm going to get to that later. Now, your mother, growing up, was probably extremely ambitious, extremely hardworking. You put her on a pedestal. The word is idolized your mother. She probably was the breadwinner of the family, making the money, going out, bringing home the bacon, providing for everybody. And you felt like you could never match what she would do. What you would do would never outweigh what she would do. You felt like small, in a state of just being given, being served, being helped, being provided for, instead of providing, instead of feeling like she could do it. She could do all these things. She could go out and she knows what her career is. She knows what her status is, what she's meant to do. And it's almost like this feeling of like, jealousy. Well, I don't want to say jealous. Maybe envy is the better word for it. You envied her ambition and strong quality of being able to, make the career and make it work, and do all that and have a successful job. And you feel like there's this constant sense of like not having self-worth over you and your career. Low self-esteem over you with your career and what you want to achieve and your reputation out into the world. It's about building that self-esteem. It's about building that confidence in yourself that, yes, I can go out and achieve what I want to, but the trick is you cannot do it on the logic ego level. It has to come from inside of yourself. So, you can create a professional movement. You can really, really shift the world on the work level. You can really, really help out other people and shift how we go about work, shift how we go about achieving things. You can maybe represent an ideal that people can work up to, that people can achieve. You may represent something higher that people can, achieve and accomplish, in their lives. You may represent something higher. You may represent, what this means here is, you may stand for someone following their spiritual calling. Someone following their spiritual purpose, what they're truly meant to live out in their life, what they're truly meant to do in this life. What they're truly meant to do in this life that feels aligned with them on a soul level. And so, can you be very, very strong in that ideal of that particular person? Can you be with that, that ideal of, who you are? So you represent something higher, and you can inspire people. You can encourage people to follow in your footsteps and live out their spiritual calling and find their spiritual purpose and do all of that. Now, you may be tempted to work with somebody in a creative field, an artistic field, a spiritual field that may feel aligned with you. With something very, very different. And there is this ability here to adapt very, very easily in your career, to be able to, adapt to things, adapt to what is going on in that career level. You're able to make sense of, really what you're doing in that regard. So, you're not attached to one particular role or one particular job in your career. You can be very, very fluid, very, very bendable, very, very, adaptable. You can be in one role and then another role, and then, you want to be able to flow and, really, really flexible in your job. Now, you may be celebrated for skills and attributes that you don't feel you have. You may have other people just coming to you saying, hey, you're really, really great at organizing the funds, organizing the files. And you're like, I didn't do that. I didn't think that I'm very good at that. You may have people saying, oh, you're really, really good at writing this out letter for the chief postal person. And you're like, I don't think that I'm good at that. I don't credit myself with that, and I didn't do that. Like feeling like, disillusioned with the actions that you take in terms of your career. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you may be you may also on the conversely, you may be you may have others coming to you saying, why did you do this? This was a big mistake. It's like, I didn't do that. Why did you not do this properly when I needed you? Why did you, screw this person over with this particular job, with this particular position. And you're like, I didn't do that. So other people it's very, very tricky because other people are acknowledging you about things that they think and perceive that you did, but internally, inside of yourself, on a soul level, you didn't do. You perceive yourself more on an internal level with who you are inside of you, and you want people to overlook what you do in terms of your actions and only see you for the person inside of you, because you want people to know you for who you really are inside of you on a soul level, on a more spiritual level. You want people to overlook the things that you did, that you I don't want to say that you're in a fantasy or an illusion, but you just don't feel like you did it. It doesn't feel right for you to, because as a Neptunian person, you're very, very much about compassion and living from a higher spiritual place and being very, very evolved in that sense. So when you do these low egoic things of this 3D reality, then you're like, then, other people, telling you this, that you did this both positively or negatively, it's like, it doesn't feel aligned for you. It doesn't feel like it just matches up to you and makes sense for you. And it doesn't feel like, you don't identify with it. So that's how this placement can manifest, and that's how this placement can feel. Now, you may achieve a lot. You may do a lot of things. And you may feel like, you know what, I'm just not getting a whole lot back in return. I'm not getting anything back in return for my efforts. I'm not getting anything back in return for all that I've achieved, for all that I've, for all that I've done. That you may have done a lot, but what you get back is minimal to nothing at all. Just not getting, sort of having it reciprocated back in your direction, being able to achieve it and get the reward and get the praise and get the acknowledgement and get the, the money for it. Maybe you feel like you're not getting enough money in your career, who knows. Now, you need to be in relationships with people who appreciate you and see you for you. Okay? I want to say that with the most compassion. That, who appreciate you for who you are on a soul level, rather than an idealized image that doesn't fit the bill for you. Rather than an image that doesn't make sense for you. So that is really, really important. I'm just gonna go check this out. Okay, just thought I'd do something really, really quickly. Okay, so now, okay, so okay, so what you want is, as I was saying, you want people to appreciate you for who you are, on a soul level, rather than the image that other people see you as, in terms of your face, in terms of your role, in terms of your position. Like, when it comes to people with Neptune in the 10th house, do not define them through their career. they may be very, very talented in something. It may not be with this career. They may be in a career and may not identify with this. So don't, so don't, define them through their career role. It's not how they want to define themselves. They don't want to define themselves. They want to transcend the ego, like Neptune wants to transcend this 3D reality, wants to transcend this ego, based reality with, your role or your, position in society. Like Neptune in the 10th house does not want to be identified and recognized and known for that and understood for that. So, so, you do have a desire to be somebody significant though. Somebody really, really, very, very famous, very, very, uh, infamous is the word to use, very, very important, but in a way where you are serving something larger. You're following your soul's calling instead of just performing a role that you need to perform out into the world. So you need a career where you can adapt very, very easily, and you have a lot of duality inside of you. Showing the different hats that you wear, the different sides of yourself that you have, that you play on in the world. You need a career where you demonstrate that, where you easily show that and put that out there. You need a career where you can show your multiple sides, your different sides, your personality, your different talents, your different abilities, because you probably have multiple talents and abilities. Now, it may be a pursuit of happiness that you may not, stay in just one job, because you may not stay in one job, but you may move around to another job in pursuit of your soul's calling, in pursuit of your higher purpose, your higher plan for yourself, and the higher plan the universe has for you, and you want to be in direct conscious contact with that universe, with the universe, excuse me, and and uh, and co-creating your life with spirit. That's what you ultimately want on a soul level. And so you may, it may be so common, for you to just, in order to make your soul feel fulfilled, you don't just stay in one position or one role, all the time. You go around in different roles. So, you may make one choice at a time. Where it's just one step at a time, letting the path unfold as you go. The trick is to trust your intuition and let the path unfold toward a career that's aligned with your heart and soul, toward a career that feels true for you on a heart and soul level, on a career that really, really means a lot to you, on a career that really, really stands out for you, on that level, that really, really speaks to you at a deeper, more internal place. Career that that speaks to your spirit, speaks to what you've always dreamed of, speaks to your higher beliefs, your higher ideals, and is in alignment with that. So you may know something so well, knowing yourself so well, that you do not, the fortunate thing about you is that you're not subject to external authority. You are not subject to what other people want from you from the external authority figures, and you don't want to follow what other people want from you. You don't want to follow what other people need from you. Need you to do, and bosses, authority figures, government officials, parents, or whoever, that you are not subject and beholden to having to follow these authority figures. um, that that you have your own inner authority. You run your own life. You lead your own life, and that's really, really positive. Very, very positive quality, indeed. So, so that is so empowering when you can tap into your inner teacher, your inner guide, and live a life like that. And so you can really, really make your dreams a reality. You can really, really, go out, and this is about taking all those higher visions that you have, all those higher dreams, and those higher plans that you have, those higher visions that you have for your life, and making them real, making them, invisible, to people, in the world, making them, where other people can see them, where they're recognized, where they're out there, where you actually go out and, achieve these things. Where you, make your dreams real. And, I'm not asking you to just get out of the clouds and face reality. Like, I'm not going to be harsh, mean to you in that regard. But I'm just saying, I'm not going to give you a hard reality check. I'm just saying, be in this ground reality, be in this 3D reality just enough to where you can take that higher spiritual purpose, that higher spiritual ideal, that higher spiritual vision for your life, your, what you want on a soul level, and transcend that. Maybe talk to somebody that can help you out with this. Talk to somebody that can help you out in achieving what your soul is calling you to do. And it's okay if you're in more than one career at, in one stage of your life, because that may be who you are, that may be what you are. I know somebody in my life who worked at, a tech place one time, then taught calculus at a college, then did trading on the computer, and now works in tech. Now works as an IT person who fixes computers and does all that. There's a general theme with the career, but you see the different changes in career, for a while, and so. This could happen to, anybody, anyone could have a career change, but if you're changing it so much, that may belong to a Neptune, the 10th house person. Um, and, so, so you want to, take all your, what you want in terms of your career, what you want to do, what you want to achieve, what you want to have happen in your life in terms of your status, your reputation out in the world. You want to be known if you have a status reputation, you want to be spiritually known. So maybe being a spiritual teacher would appeal to you, as your reputation is more tied to your soul, to your spirit, to actually manifesting and making it matter, and embodying that spiritual vision that's immaterial, that's intangible, that you're now making tangible in your own life with that. So don't allow others to reflect something about you that doesn't feel true for you. Don't allow them, don't be in situations where they're just reflecting back your image and reflecting back your, your status, and that image that you put on these people who don't really, are not that as perceptive as, and intuitive and spiritual as you like them to be, see you for someone that you're not. So, and, and it's important to seek support from people in high positions of power and authority, as I just told you, that can help you ground your vision, this is what I read, ground what you really want in terms of your career. That can help you manifest, that can help you take the steps toward making it happen and making it real. I don't think that you can do it on your own. I think that getting help and getting support with this can be very, very healing for you, can be very, very supportive for you. They can really, really make a huge difference in your life when you, allow yourself to receive help from these people that are really, really professional at helping people with their career, with their job, um, advisors or whoever they are to help you with this. So it's important because Neptune is a lack of boundaries. Neptune is no boundaries. Neptune, dissolves the boundaries. And and with Neptune energy, you want to set boundaries so that your energy doesn't get taken advantage of, so that you don't get taken advantage of, so that you don't get walked all over, because you ultimately want to achieve. You are very, very compassionate in your career. You want to achieve greater spiritual empathy and compassion in your career. And interestingly, this person who has Neptune in the 10th, um, also has Saturn, which rules purpose, discipline, hard work in the sign of Pisces. So Pisces is a sign that's ruled by Neptune, which is a sign of illusions and fantasy and dreams and visions and imagination and transcending this reality, no boundaries, imagination. I just find that so fascinating that is true about this person's natal chart. So, so what you want is to, set healthy boundaries so that your compassion then, your empathy, and where people aren't seeing you for your role, or maybe it's a spiritual role that you're putting on, and and then your energy doesn't get squashed out, that your light doesn't go out because somebody doesn't turn out your light, shut out your light, dim your light, that somebody doesn't squeeze all the energy and vitality out of you because you just are a martyr to them. You are giving to them. You slave away for them, and work so hard for them that you sacrifice yourself and what you want, your values, your needs, your own wants and desires. That is really what you sort of something that you need to keep in mind is like, okay, how am I going to set boundaries so that I can retain my own sense of self, my own sense of inner peace, my own sense of freedom? Because the irony is, setting boundaries can help set you free. And so, truly, they can. So that's very important. And maybe you're in a creative career, where you're channeling, divine downloads, spirituality, because Neptune and tuning energy, what it does is it channels visions and ideals and imagination from the higher realms, and it puts it down into practical, solid reality. Puts it down into ground reality, puts it down into what you can achieve right here, tangibly, right here on the earthly plane. You have, like artists have, creative visions for their paintings, for their art, for their, their, sculptures, whatever they're doing. That they come from the divine, that they manifest those with their own two physical hands down onto the earthly plane. So, you may channel this creativity down from the divine, maybe from a higher place. You could take this not feeling aligned with your job to something which is more soul-centered, and where others truly see your compassion, but others respect your sovereignty, your integrity, others respect your boundaries, and don't walk all over you, and don't use and take advantage of you. And the final thing here is to let the path unfold as it will, to allow the path to bend and wind, and for you to not need to have ultimate control over where you're going, what the next step is, what you don't need to have a handle all the time, on your career, but about co-creating your life with the universe, co-creating your life with spirit, and taking one step at a time towards doing that, and then allowing the path to allowing it to unfold, and trusting in spirit, trusting in the divine, with trusting your intuition, not needing to force the career to happen, not needing to force the career to occur, in a 3D kind of way, but in a spiritual kind of way, in a intangible, higher up kind of way. So, can you let the path? I keep repeating myself. So, trust in spirit, trust in the divine, live a life in alignment with the divine, and follow your soul's calling. That's really all that I have to say for Neptune the 10th house. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of the Cosmic Script podcast. I hope you have found some insight out of it. I will not be back until the 26th, because I'm going to be going away with my family to somewhere, going to a museum, going on sort of an outing on Saturday, and I'll probably not have the motivation to record an episode tomorrow. So I will be back on Sunday to discuss the I'm going to be discussing the midheaven in Scorpio in the natal birth chart, and what that's all about, of which this person who has Neptune the 10th house has midheaven in Scorpio. So I'll be talking about that, in depth, looking at that placement, looking at the qualities of that placement and how it shows up in career and life. And so yeah, so that's all that I want to say here in this episode. Anyway, I'll see you in the next episode with another general astrology video, and bye for now, everybody.